Now, Gauteng Education MEC Chilwane says they'll be beefing up security at schools. This follows the murder of a grade 10 pupil who was stabbed by a fellow pupil on Thursday. The student was rushed to hospital but was declared dead on arrival. This is now the second stabbing at Dinokaneng Secondary School. Let's get more information from our reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones, who joins us now with the very latest. Pule, a bit earlier on you spoke to the MEC. There seems there is some sort of an intention to beef up security, but he also went on to perhaps speak on what the Gauteng Premier has spoken about, that they're still awaiting the CCTV cameras and even the panic buttons. So one wonders if actually there is a plan to quickly get security at some of those high pressures, in those high pressure zones, such as your Westbury's that he spoke of.
Well, yes, definitely. It seems as though there is a plan to try and ensure safety and security of pupils in various schools. But also the question is about how urgent will these plans be implemented? I mean, the Premier spoke about, safety and security of citizens in Gauteng, saying just about 6,000 peace and security, officers will be deployed across various wards in the province. However, we're now getting a sense from the Gauteng Department of Education that they will also be working on private security. The MEC saying that there's also been a budget that has been set aside to look into, that process of ensuring that security companies or security company is appointed. They will be, deployed to various schools in the province. They've also mentioned that they've identified some of the hotspots and areas which are problematic in terms of gangsterism, which is of course now pouring and infiltrating some of these schools. As you can see on my right hand side, I'm just going to ask my colleague Tedi Munyemba to show you we're at the family home now of the young man who was actually stabbed by one other young man as well, who's not part of that school as well. We do understand that he was fatally stabbed at school, where he then subsequently lost his life. And the family, of course, is reeling from the tragic death of their son. And they've made it quite clear that they want accountability. And in terms of accountability, we now been made aware that this suspect, who has been apprehended, had appeared before the courts today, and of course had made a confession that he is, the one behind the fatal stabbing of the young boy who lost his life at the Dinokaneng Secondary School last week, Friday. But joining me right now, I'm also going to be speaking to the sister, just to get a sense of how they're feeling and how they're coping during this sad and, of course, devastating moment. Thank you very much for joining us, Lerato. Maybe just tell us what family is wrong. Family is wrong.
Family has right, because most of the time I can do joke and stuff, so the way it's like Mokotwa high, Utlapilling on then in Bavotel. That is how Lena at because in a Libacotica fail.
So,
I can know heights and nicks, I can see, I can show, I get some mail when I can see you more. I can see.
Mama, Papa, Bonamajo.
Yo, Mama, I cope next. Mara, because Tamil I am, I look said in to was a Maori. I be strong. Yeah, I'm Chakopang.
When I know also high and we get
Now, in the reason or get to every day saying kilowatt sebets, generally two from Mewaka that work. So, in the reason or get to saying kilowatt sebets in Chonguling when it gets a for a kit of Liena, Utopakaiti, yeah, and Chonguling like any kids, it was for Yena. And it's all saying the first person keep one lane in Liena, Kiroba like Yanam to keep one lane in the middle of the day during the week, Yana Tanga to Chicago like. They keep making pizza because biologically I stepfather. So yeah, stepfather. So really true. That means na kunya no unsileki kiliwan. Tumelo problem I fell in the local na so good about the buy because Katung Babili na koya 7. So most of the time I can past 7, 10 past 7. So na dula lona limwa I can see when stuff. Maka I did next. Nam say melanke peace education programs ni tshela khwere. Una rata o jutsa bana ba ka mona go folo go tobanyala and stuff ha ene le motho o na le kind.
Counseling yona le ithotse.
my counseling no a re so ithole but then ya ka mokgwa go tlang ka teng MEC we providile mara re kopile go re kopa a tlo go thusa after leave because no ntse re le busy.
And we tseng hana fitla mo tseng mo family
MEC we tlo gona o tlo zama by all means gore a be le gona ntho le ngwe re hlokang counseling financially or eng o tlo go thusa ka tsona and then le dipotso tse re botsitseng tsona ke ntho tse le gore o tlo di processa in the way so tabetse gona teng then o tle di dilo tsa go.
And then as family way forward le ke le tletsagang le mo fitlheleng
hey gona families way forward je re thabetse le go rutula o tse motho a mhlabileng o tshweu re batla fela gore o mprobatsa phumule ka khotso and that's it. Le food tlo ba sa treta. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tara.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Fundo, that's the sister of Tumelo Jueli, who was fatally stabbed at the Nokaneng Secondary School, saying that preparations for the funeral are currently underway. However, the MEC of Education in Gauteng, Matume Sheluan, did of course brief the family in regards to how they will be assisting them with the preparations of the funeral, but also that they will be receiving that necessary counseling that's needed during this difficult time the family is going through. She's also described, I know, Tumelo to be one young man who was, of course, at some point had his own problems and challenges at the home, but was someone who was also attentive to the family and also listened to the family as well. But they're saying that his death has, caused nothing but a devastating moment for the family, and they're still trying to find peace with it as to how they can move on as a family.
Very, very tragic death. Pule, we'll leave it there for now. That's eNCA reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones.